What's going on? Good night. Good rocking. Just getting set up here. Mr. Tim Smith.
How you doing, brother?
Keeping the wheels on, buddy. Keeping the wife happy, and the rest is all just easy peasy.
That's all that's important.
Yeah. Anthony, good evening. How are you? Muted.
Whoops. I'm doing awesome.
How's it going?
It's fun getting in on these. Dude, you've been like my hero. I started out like 5 years ago, just like everybody says, seeing that $100 an hour thing. And from there, I've just been watching all your stuff. And yeah, dude, you're like the Tom Cruise of seal coat, man.
Hey, Mindy, get over here. Come listen to this. No, my wife. That would be great.
Yeah, man. No, dude, I love what you do.
That's cool, man. You know, at the end of the day, we're all on our mission and our journey, and I come to work every day smiling and enjoying what I do, and so that's an important thing in life, is to find that purpose and to be able to really be happy in what it is that we're journeying through.
Yeah,
so
dude,
I appreciate that, bro.
Like I heard you saying like this winter, I was just like getting myself like pumped for the season, and like my last 3 or 4 years, it's been like 90-something% residential, and you're like, dude, you can only do so many $250 driveways in a season, and like I kind of found what that cap was for us, just going hard every day, and it's like, so now I'm trying to get into those churches. We got some storage facilities and just like a bunch of bids out there. I'd love to pick your brain on closing the freaking deal on some of those, because like it's like those $250 ones. It's just like a quick, yep, let's do it. And then it's like, I got some big ones out there where I keep trying to touch base with them and everything like that, but it's slow moving because I'm always the first guy giving them the quote, and they want a few of them,
Well, I'll provide you some advice. I'll provide some advice tonight, because actually something happened this morning with one of our advisors in our company, and he closed a pretty cool deal today that was lingering and not answering. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. Be fun to talk about some of our wins, and then I think let's talk about some challenges. Adam Chapman, what's going on, my man? Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. You're muted, but yeah, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you I just said thanks for having me. Not have to be Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
As they say, happy hump day. Happy hump day. Rob McKenzie, what's going down in the town, buddy?
How's it going, Judd? Everybody? It's all good here.
Cool.
It almost feels like the weekend.
Guys, I gotta apologize for these glasses. I'm waiting for proper glasses that don't have all this reflective shit on it. It's kind of interesting. I'm looking at my screen, they just glow. But yeah, it's not easy down in Anguilla to get a pair of glasses like up the street. It's not like Lens Crafters or like some kind of thing. You just walk in, they're like, they check your eyes and they give you the lens and glasses in an hour. Now you have to wait like for freaking a month to get a pair of glasses. So I'm wearing my ultimate drugstore glasses for $5.99 still here. But you know what? I can at least see all of your faces, and we can interact and engage that way. We're gonna wait. Man, look at us all on time. 7 o'clock. The room is banging already. I love it, guys. We're gonna shed tons of value tonight. I want to speak about some really cool things. I want to go through. I think it's important that we're not just every week going into one specific topic. I think it's good to do that on certain weeks, but I think it's going to be really, really fun tonight to just go on what I call a freestyle jam, where we're going to be able to actually talk about what it's like for each one of us to go through a solid win that we can remember. Guys, if you can mute when you're not interacting, that would be awesome. But yeah, let's go through a solid win and then a solid challenge that we're up against, and we can do that through raising our hand. Down at the very bottom of your screen, you're going to see it says reactions.
Oh, see?
And down at the very bottom under that reactions, you'll be able to raise your hand. So we'll jam here in exactly 1 minute and get cracking. Man, I'll tell you what, speedballs right now are flying faster than I have ever seen because we're so late to this season, late getting started this season. And it's like this dam is about to break. I called this. I said literally in the end of March and early April, I said the dam is going to break in the middle of April. And so, you know, we all know the big tax day, the 15th, for the US anyway.
Pretty cool. We had light on.
But we've got a big rush that's going to be hitting us here, especially with weather all cranking up. Rod, what's up, man? How you doing? Sipping $500 wine?
No, I wish. No, just having some beverage.
Dude, you got a bulk tank? Like what? Like, are you buying? Like, gonna buy I need to buy a transport company. We need to figure out these freight rates and try to drop them a little bit here, bud. Buy a transport company.
I'm already looking into it.
I knew you would be. By the way, Rod Hilton's going straight up against Elon Musk. I guarantee it. In the next 2 years, this guy's taking him out.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So stoked for you, man. So stoked
Thank
for
you.
you.
I appreciate it.
Guys, let's jump straight into this. We've got an hour. I've got an hour. My parents are in town, which is super cool because I hadn't seen them for like 3 years, and it's cool for mom to see her son all growing up and to give him a big hug and talk about life in person a bit. So I'm gonna stick hard to the 8 o'clock regarding me. You guys are welcome to stay in here. This is all of our room. This isn't my room. This is all of our room to interact and engage and to build relationships and network. We all know the purpose of the AK Roundtable. I want us to imagine opening a big wood door in a castle, like literally a big wood door in a castle. And we sit down with our what are those big beer mugs? What's the name of those big mugs? You know, the big mugs with the diamonds and jewels on them. And what's that?
Fine.
There you go. And so we're sitting at the table together at this big wood round table, and we're just all here, you know, wanting to build towards a more successful future. And I think together we can do that a lot better than just being alone and trying to figure this shit out on our own. Certainly, I wouldn't be where I am if I was just on this journey alone. I've got some great people that I interact and engage with, and interacting with you guys, you have no idea the amount of reflection that I do after these. It's pretty intense, and there's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of discussion. Michael's on here. Michael heads up our sales team. He is, you know, we interact and we speak about it. And we speak about it with our team with not the intent or interest to sell the equipment or supplies. Of course, that's wonderful, but it's not with the intent to sell the equipment and supplies. It's actually with the intent of having people reach their goals of that freedom, that feeling of being an entrepreneur, that feeling of building a company and having the wins to celebrate. At the end of the day, I think that's the reason why we're here, is to kind of learn and celebrate together. So thank you for being a part of it. It's awesome. Michael, do you have access to be able to admit people? Because I'm gonna, when I'm going through some stuff here, it's hard to keep up because there's a lot of people coming in.
Let me check.
Yeah. I can make you, actually, let me make you a
Can you make me a
co-host.
co-host? And then I'll
Yeah,
be
you're-
able to do that.
That'd be great. Yeah, and just accept. All right, guys, let's get cooking here. We're 7:05 p.m. I can't believe it's April 13th. It's incredible. Huge birthday party tomorrow for my 4-year-old. Excited for that one. We've got a blow up castle and all kinds of cool stuff coming, so that'll be fun. My wife got a DJ and a bartender for it too, so it's going to be pretty awesome. But yeah, listen, guys, AK Roundtable, here we go. Let's dig our claws into this. So I want to go through our wins and our challenges. I know that everybody on here probably has their wins where they're celebrating, and that's what we talk about. But a lot of the time we don't talk about the things that might be causing us pain or adversity and challenge. And And those things really need to be spoken about in order to push things and move things forward, in my opinion. So I'm gonna instigate this conversation. I'd love to have whoever wants to, engage here and tell one of their big wins, that believe, that win that you're going to share. I don't want it to just be like, hey, great job. I want it to be a share where the rest of the group actually is able to get value from that. I want you guys to think about that. I want to walk away saying, man, that approach right there is an interesting approach to maybe close more deals. That approach right there might be a targeted niche that I want to focus on, and I really want to allocate my advertising and my ad spend, and I really want to win in that particular niche. And here's how I've won in that particular area. So down in the bottom, you'll see reactions. Just raise your hand or jump in if you want to just jump in. But I'd love to hear the win, and then I'd love to hear right after that, after the win, one of the things that you're struggling the most with to get the momentum moving faster the way you want it to. Anybody want to? Let's see here.
I can kick it off.
Let's go. Let's roll.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So like I was telling you earlier, Judd, I am trying to move into more commercial stuff and just land bigger targets. And I think just from hearing you talk about it over the winter, watching some of your stuff, you were talking about who's going after the churches and things like that. And so what I started doing is just writing, and I think I heard maybe Rob saying this last week, I'm not sure. And I'm a teacher as well, buddy. So the asphalt never talks back to us. That's kind of nice.
Very nice.
But out of the first, like 2 weeks ago, I was just watching golf on TV, and I just in between was crafting an email and just sending it out to churches and just explaining myself and what I would love to do, just to give them some free estimates. And out of the first 12 that I sent, I got 3 chances to go bid on them. So I was like, wow, that was like an hour of work to go bid on 3 of them, and one of them was almost 200,000 square feet. So that was pretty neat. So I'm still trying to just track down as many churches as I can. And then another big win this year is I landed 2 big storage facilities. So these will be some of my biggest jobs I've ever done. And then on the flip side of that would be, and on those storage facilities, I would say that I learned that I really had to put in a lot of effort on those. Like it was probably going out there a couple of times, meeting with the lady in person, and maybe like a total of like 15 different communications, which seemed like a lot, but it ended up paying off. But now it's just like, I'm trying to see how you guys are closing those big dogs, because I've got several commercial bids out there right now, and it's like, I don't want to be too pesky because I do keep checking in with them, but it's like, there's like, yeah, we just haven't made a decision yet, or, we're still waiting on this or that, but trying to seal the deal on some of that stuff. So that's been a little bit of the frustration, is all these bids out there that are just kind of floating in space right now.
It's interesting that you mentioned about the churches, because that's certainly an area that I've been hearing a lot of people winning with, and we have a lot of church clients actually as well. And so one of the things I would ask you is to reflect on the face of your business, the marketing, and whether or not your website actually has a potential landing page that's specific to churches. That might be a link to your website from your emails and from your proposal that you might be delivering, stating that you actually have developed a segment within your marketing material to really speak to that audience. Because the way that you speak to, a client or clients that might be making a decision relating to their church is a different language than the dealerships. And so it's very hard on a website to just have your websites provide that value proposition for people who were a part of our previous roundtables. You saw some of those website reviews and proposal reviews. And so what I think is important is to have that segment within your website that's really key and targeted there. I also think that your social media should also be geared and tied to that as well. And I also do believe that you should have it's funny, actually, I've got a whiteboard filled with this stuff like social, but like I was just speaking about this today in a consulting session. And it's like, YouTube has the opportunity for you to create a channel, and you could create a video that's titled, church parking lot repairs or church parking lot maintenance and repairs, along with the targeted geographical area that you're wanting to work in. And then down in the description, you optimize that description for it, make sure the tags are in there, and just have you walking on a church parking lot, man, like just talking to people saying, this is what we specialize in. What I would say is that your different channels, your multi-channels in which you're delivering messages to, need to speak down to speak from wherever it is down into one funnel to your website, which is your landing page specific to that audience. And that way they feel special, that you're actually catering to that niche. And I would do the same for dealerships if you're going to go after dealerships and anything else. Anybody else have any advice around really building that communication, that language specific to maybe closing more deals? Adam Chapman?
Yeah, I think you hit it perfect when you said having specific wording, like having them go to a landing page. So like you said, that you reached out to, I think you said 10 people, and 3 of them got back to you asking for a quote. So the 7 that didn't, you could always send them an email and send them with a link to that landing page. And then also, like, depending on what kind of system you're using, see if they visit it, and then follow up calls that way. Because you said you didn't want it to be too pesky or annoying. So there's a difference when you know if they've actually opened it or not, right? So you can call them back. But yeah, I think Judson hit it right there, like having a landing page and then having your emails worded, save it as a template so you can send it out to more people. I think number one thing I'd say is landing page as well.
So there's another piece of that too, just to throw this on, and then we'll keep moving. I would ask you with those other 7, if you've sent a personalized video message to them from your phone, like, hey, Anthony here, and just touching base. I just wanted to let you know that I'm really looking forward to working with you guys, and whatever it is, even if you don't choose me, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right advice to make sure your parking lot's safe. Safe is really important. Make sure it's looking great as well, and prolonging the pavement assets. You don't have to pave it as often, but I'm really looking forward to meeting with you. Let me know a good time where we can connect and maybe walk over that parking lot with you. Just boom, just do shit that's different. Like I say, do shit that's unique and different, and magic happens. You'll find that people are like, wow, man, this guy's built a landing page on his website. He's got a YouTube video that caters to the audience. His social media has posts around it, and the dude's sending him a personalized message. I don't know who else is doing that. Not too many people.
And
I know that
knocking my wife, but
so and yeah, Tim.
One thing I've been doing with churches and fire departments in my area. So I'll give them a proposal, and I offer 10% off right off the bat. And then I tell them for any of their members that want seal coating done, I give them an additional 10%, and I take that 10% and donate it back to the organization. So I'm 2 for 3. So it's been working.
What a takeaway.
Tim, I heard you talking about that last week, and I kind of stole your approach there. And I just landed a job last week with a church doing the same thing. They love that idea, because it just makes everybody feel good about it, like that was a good idea.
Yeah, good.
Don't you love this shit? Like, to me, this is like, okay, now everybody go do it. Please, everybody go do the same thing, and then come back next week and say, oh, it all worked. And everybody's like, oh shit, we landed more jobs in that niche. And you know what? It was a 50 or 60,000 square foot church parking lot, and they converted. I mean, what Connor just did and what Tim did works. And so let's do it. Let's do it. Nice, man. Congratulations. Anthony, hope that helps, man. Connor, that's sick, dude. That's incredible. And Tim, great advice. All right, we've got Porter. Porter, let's dig in, man. Tell us the big one.
Well, the big win was just establishing the business license with the state. It's starting right from the beginning. So yeah, getting that approved with the state. And then I also got the rig all mounted on the trailer and everything. So it's ready to go. And the next thing is just getting the work and strategies on, what you guys are talking about is definitely helping. So yeah, that's where I am now, is facing getting work and getting my name out there and stuff like that.
How good does it feel?
It feels really good. Yeah, it does. I'm excited. A little nervous, but excited. More excited.
What's the very first job you're about to go do?
I'm gonna actually start at my parents' house. Yeah, for the first one, and then go from there. So
Make sure
awesome,
they give you
man.
a review.
but
Yeah, Adam, good point. Make sure they give you a review.
yeah,
And then
take pictures and stuff, I guess, would probably be at the end product.
And where do you remind me where you live, Porter?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. And let me ask you, how long have you lived in New Hampshire?
32 years. Yeah, my whole life.
How old are you? How your whole life? 32.
Yeah.
So let me understand this. You've been in New Hampshire for 32 years, and you're starting an asphalt maintenance business in New Hampshire. And how long have your parents been in New Hampshire?
They've been forever. Yeah.
Don't forget to use that as part of the story, as part of the effort to convert deals. Not only convert deals, but your parents, because they've been there so long, they have a whole list of friends that you can go. Remember, it's people you know first, and it's people your people know. So I mean, you're probably going to be busier than you're going to be able to deal with here if you wanted to, just with the networking amongst the community that you guys are so networked in already.
Yeah, and I previously did tree work for 12 years with Bartlett Tree Experts, and so I know a lot of contractors and stuff around. So I'm gonna reach out to them and hopefully see what happens.
Awesome. Porter, are you near Seabrook, New Hampshire?
A little. I'm up by Lake Winnipesaukee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where you're at. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep, Central.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. Sure.
By the way, I'm just going to jump in here, Riley. The question about most of the neighborhoods having concrete driveways. I'll just tell you straight out, like if the majority of the residential communities have concrete driveways, I'd probably go straight into small commercial immediately. I wouldn't even bother with the residential if it's all concrete. Either that or get into some concrete repair and sealing. You could get into that too and have your small commercial division as well. That's what I would do. Rob, you have advice there?
Yeah, well, I added in concrete pressure washing and sealing. I was doing a little bit of concrete sealing last year, but I added in the pressure washing primarily to get a friend of mine into the business so he could build up some capital. But I mean, I've done the same approach with asphalt and Facebook ads and Google ads and things like that. And I tell you, there's a market out there. And I know, Judd, I saw you had Justin on one of your little clips, the pressure washing guy, Justin. And I mean, there's a huge market there. So I mean, it's one of those areas that I think I wouldn't stay away from, right? Just if it's there and you're getting calls, why not do it, right? I got a 16-inch surface cleaner, pressure washing. I mean, people are going to ask you to pressure wash their asphalt driveways as well. I mean, there's a whole market there too. So, it's
the nice thing, Riley and Rob. I mean, the bottom line here is that. And Adam knows this well because he offers multiple services within PadPal, but these investments are so minimal upfront to be able to actually go and provide the services that give you huge return, like straight up. And so, when you look at it, you say, what does a pressure washer cost really from an investment perspective? And what does a crack repair machine and a seal coat machine and a small infrared machine cost truly? If from an investment perspective, you're going to make your money back rapidly. You just need to make sure that you're marketing it properly to create the leads that are coming from that and doing the right job at closing those deals. Adam, can you speak a little bit about multi-service offerings? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think it depends on where you are in your business journey. So when I first started in the home services, I was doing window and gutter cleaning, very low barrier to entry, a great service because again, you can always have a higher ticket. Then we added the power washing before going to the driveway sealing. I think, and then what I kind of did was like as I added services, I added new vehicles and had team members that would manage them. So the window and gutter cleaning team would just be windows and gutter cleaning, and then I'd have a driveway sealing team, and then I'd have a team that does a Christmas light. So like we'd have kind of like team leads for each service we offer. That's one way to do it. If you're just starting out and it's you, I look at it as a good way to increase your like customer loyalty and lifetime value. So like if you're doing the driveway sealing every other year, and yeah, like getting a power washer or like a water fed pull for window cleaning, yeah, it's I guess like to increase your like lifetime value with the customer is one way to look at it. Or if you're marketing and selling properly, adding someone, if you just need one person with the power washer, and that's manageable. So it depends if you're going to be doing every service yourself, I guess, or if you're going to be hiring and adding on. It's hard to add employees and then have them doing multiple services, though. I would avoid that. So just like if you have a driveway sealing company, let's say you have 2 employees right now and they're doing driveway sealing, I would avoid having them doing driveway sealing and then flip-flopping to something completely different. I would almost look to add another crew before I would do that. If you're doing it yourself, it's easy to do multiple services, but if you're going to add crews, there's always a lot more training involved. So really, I guess it depends on where you are in your business journey in terms of like money versus trying to grow and add more vehicles. We try to go for the higher, like we're at the point now where we subcontract, work with partners, we call it, for a lot of our services now. So we sub it out, but it took quite a bit to get there, to get known for those services. And that's working out pretty well. So I guess it depends on where you are at in terms of demand for the service and who you're working with and your money. There's a lot of factors come to play. Some services are very complementary of each other though too, right?
Yeah, that's great advice. Riley, we can't see you. You might not be able to be on camera. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Did that help at all?
Yeah, that gave me a lot of answers to most of the questions I had.
Cool. I mean, I certainly know that Justin Rogers, for example, you guys might have seen him before on YouTube, Forever Self-Employed, and he's on TikTok and stuff. He's pressure washing and making big coin, making $2,000 a day pressure washing, and the material costs are very minimal. So it really depends on what your key focus is going to be, and whether you want to become a property service company or a multi-service company, or you're going to just specialize in one area and really target that. Residential seal coating straight up is never going to yield the big dollars. It just won't. You're going to cap out unless you have multiple fleets and you're canvassing multiple states and you're going that way. Residential is going to have a cap. It will. Yeah.
No, I was going to ask Adam, because I was just, with him being on all the home services, I was kind of interested. What makes you want to deal with that many homeowners on a daily basis for low ticket items like that? Honest question.
Like I said, right now we sub all. That's kind of why we're at now. Like all of our window and gutter cleaning jobs, we have a partner that they wear our Pad Pal merch and they go fulfill jobs through our brand name, and then they charge us. They bill us out for the houses. So we don't do those jobs now. We don't do low ticket jobs now. But we would go do gutter guards or like the permanent lights. Like that's in house. And then a lot of the lower ticket stuff, we have partners that do the fulfillment. But yeah, like we also have, like, we're by far the highest price for every single service that we offer in our city. Like there's no question about that. And like we've built up just from like social media and Google and stuff, like a good brand recognition. So we're able to charge, like, for instance, like our window cleaning job we had a guy do for us today was $100. We charged $300. The guy was happy to make $100 and the customer was happy the job was done well. Right. So like that, for sending an email and having a reliable partner, which is the hardest thing, to make $200 and just sending one email, and then they book it and do it. It's worth it.
It's a really good question. And I think this comes down to a lot of making sure that you have a systematic process that is really tuned to be as automated as possible to deliver an customer experience that's extraordinary. And so, a lot of people would say to you, well, guys, why are you selling parts? Like, why are we selling RhinoWorks parts and different parts at an average ticket price of, let's say, $45? And the answer is because we literally don't even touch it. It just goes through a system and out. And so I think if you're going to do that kind of subbing, Adam, and you can speak to this, like, I'm assuming that there's not much work that's being done by pad pal companies, so to speak, from a person perspective. There's not not a lot of manual approach. It's happening through a system. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely. So yeah, any of the so for instance, like if a quote request comes through for a commercial property or a permanent lighting is another thing we do. That's like our biggest thing. If a quote request comes through for that, that's me calling. However, if it's a quote for window cleaning, quote for gutter cleaning, quote for power washing, a residential driveway, we already have our standard operating procedures. Like right now, like we have employees that know how to do it. And then like, for instance, like we put a couple changes in, and then any quote requests that came in through today for those other services, my friend's girlfriend was like learning it and like she's sending out quotes now. So it's very automated, extremely automated. And another thing to keep in mind is like, we can do asphalt, for instance, repaves. We can do it in certain sections of the city, but we can't do it in other areas of the city because we don't have a partner that we trust that's there. So like we had someone come to us that wanted 25 driveways done in the other end of the city, but we don't have a partner that we trust fully. So we say, sorry. However, the other end of the city, the other day, we signed a little commercial repay for 10 grand when we have a guy that's going to go fulfill a job. But that relationship was built over 2 years. So like, it's one thing to like sell the service. It's another thing to like, for instance, like the window and gutter cleaning, like that guy we've known now for 3 years, who's now, it went from like us giving each other jobs back and forth, helping each other out, to now he's fully like branded under us a couple days a week and doing the jobs. Like we trust him and it's good now, but like it takes time to build those like reliable, like no work. Like for that $200 job, it was one email that wasn't even sent from me or my partner. It was like someone that worked for us. But at the beginning, yes, if you're trying to do that yourself and manage your business and you're on the field, it's easy to get twisted, especially if you don't have a good partner.
Yeah, especially owner operator without a system or a systematic approach to it, for sure.
Focus on yourself on that point, I'd say.
Chris Filippelli, you have your hand raised. Welcome.
Yeah,
brother.
well, I was gonna say the first thing I was gonna responding to him because we kind of went through this conversation last year when we decided to get rid of residential seal coating completely, and that was one of those things that we kind of looked at, and I kind of looked at and said, look, everybody has the problems with residential seal coating. At every so many you do, somebody's going to call back, whether it's something you did or not. A lot of times it's nothing you do. They might be a simple ass question, but they want you to come all the way back out there. And time is money. Everybody's time is valuable. And so we looked at the number and we looked at what we did for the year. And it doesn't matter if in the grand scheme of things, you can do 10 driveways a day, every day of the seal coating season. It's at the end of the year, it's not that much money. And it was one of those things that we had to look at. And I kind of looked at it and I'm like, I told my dad when we were talking about it, I said, look, I don't care if it's $250,000. We're not doing it because it became that much of a headache because it's, you get 10 jobs, you're looking at 10 jobs, you're bidding 10 jobs. Those 10 jobs have to be invoiced if somebody, it just turned into this. So we just decided, hey, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. But that was kind of why I asked the question about the home service industry. Because I mean, personally to me, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass.
I think it opens up another deep conversation because like I get like 10 jobs depends on what software is, like what automations you have running, because like for us, like there was a point where saying like 15 jobs going through the calendar, like holy, like that is a headache, collections and shit. But we do have our, like for us now, like there is slightly more, I guess you could say, but it's not much. Like the extra effort, whether we do 5 jobs or 15 jobs, like in terms of scheduling and stuff, we're pretty efficient on that stuff. So
and it would be
now
like,
but even like for instance, like the thing is like if you can find like if you don't want to do the residential, I get it. It's easy to say, okay, we're not going to bother with it. However, it's like if you do have those procedures in place and your phone rings and someone says, hey, I want my driveway sealed, and you have a guy that the only thing he cares about is getting residential driveways and making a couple $100 a day, and he's doing good work and you can find that partnership, and all you have to do is answer the phone. You look, okay, this guy wants $200 for a 4-car driveway. Hey, it's $350. You'll be surprised. Like I said, we charge so much money that we make good money even on our sub stuff. But again, it all has to do with your automations and then your partner.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing too is your business model at the end of the day, because the problem that we have is like we live in a very wooded area, so you're not measuring driveways on Google Earth right now. It's almost nearly impossible. So when it comes to sizing and looking at them and everything, we had to make a decision. And from my perspective, for what we're doing and where we're trying to get, it wasn't my sales guys are too valuable to be going out to sell $300, $400, $500 drive. Like we're just in a point now where could you bring somebody else in to do it? Yes. When we look at the overall revenue of what it's going to do, what we're going to do versus what adding that one sector on is, I personally just didn't think it was worth the headache for anybody. That's kind of why we did it.
We don't put any quotes.
I'm gonna carve this in because I think it's a really important thing to put on the table. The roundtable is that there's an evolution to, there's this process of scaling and growing, and it doesn't happen overnight. Adam, how long have you been in business with PadPal?
With PadPal, this is my 3rd year now. Been doing the home services for 6, I guess.
Yeah. Chris, how long have you been in the asphalt industry?
Asphalt industry, 5 years. Paving 2.
Yeah. Was your dad involved prior to you?
No. I mean, he does some, I mean, he gets paid for his fair share of what he does, but no, not as far as ownership. No, he works a full-time job.
Got it. So this business, Surface Solutions, literally five years ago, was the first year.
Correct. Well, Peninsula Seal Coating started 5 years ago. So yep. And when we got, basically what we did when we got into paving 2 years ago, I rebranded the Surface Solutions because it just brand.
So guys, who here, raise your right hand if you've been in the business for less than 3 years. Right. All right, cool. So what we're speaking about right now is a really cool conversation between Adam and Chris, obviously, but realize that, guys, when you're starting out in this industry and you're building your name and your rapport and your brand, and you're really, learning the skills and nailing your SOPs, residential is, in my opinion, the best ultimate place to start. And I know that Chris and Adam didn't say that it wasn't. I'm just making sure that I'm clearly saying that it's the right place to start, and you can make a really good living doing this in the residential market. But the reason why I know that is I did it, and I sold a company, and we had 6 trucks on the road, and we had a direct sales team, and we were crushing it. And then it led to McDonald's parking lot contracts, and it scaled and growed. And then I sold the company, and I created the life that I'm sitting here now dreaming of. And it started with a 2-car driveway. And so with that being said, I just want to make sure that that's on the table, is that don't run before you can really walk, and really make sure that you're building and improving through this process and reinvesting to get to new stages in growth that you want to get to, right? And it really depends on what the motive and the goal is and where you want to go. Chris, I know you have huge goals with growing the hell out of your company, as I'm sure we all do, but I wanted to put that on the table.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. Absolutely. It's easy to hear us talk about that sort of stuff and it really depends. Yeah, like Judson said, what your missions are. You could be by yourself, work 3/4 of the year and make 6 figures doing seal coating residential driveways. Like I remember, it was 5 years ago. I was still in university. I remember I was on Canada Day. We did window and gutter cleaning. I made $500 that day, and I was pumped. It just depends. When we're talking about, is it worth doing a residential driveway if you're only making $150? That's because at this point now we have office and a content studio and employee, right? So that's kind of where I get at. It's easy to hear us talk about that. But again, like Judson said, you can make tons of money doing residential. That's hands down. Also, the thing is, doing residential is definitely good to start because you learn a lot of things that you can carry over to commercial.
It's cash flow.
Quickest way to get the money. Out.
Cash flow. And that's kind of where I was getting at. We started in residential seal coating, we got into commercial seal coating, we got into residential paving. We dropped residential seal coating. Now we're into commercial paving, but we still pave driveways at least 2 days a week to keep the cash flow going, because we can't go complete a $250,000 mill pave without cash flow to support that job. So it's a constant cycle. It's obviously a scaling effect. So, you might get out of residential seal coating, get into commercial seal coating, get into paving, but residential paving and residential seal coating are both the same as far as cash flow because they both pay the same day. They both pay quick, and everybody might be different. Residentially, we don't leave without a check. That's just how we've always operated the company. Because if you let somebody say, "Oh, we'll mail the check," and then they forget to mail the check, and I'm not calling you 1,000 times to chase you down for money. We completed the job, we get paid, and that's how we operate.
Yep. And it makes a ton of sense here from a cash flow perspective. What I urge everybody to do, no matter where you are in your stages of growth, and I certainly do, we have a 10,000 foot view, you know, set your 1 year goal, set your 3 year goal, set your 5 year goal, set your 10-year goal. And what does that look like? Where do you want to be in a decade from now? And you know what? You probably aren't going to get exactly where you are saying you're going to be in 10 years from now, but at least you're shooting for something rather than maybe nothing. And so, you know, I don't know if I'll be alive in 10 years. I sure as hell hope I am, but I've got some big dreams and aspirations to do some pretty incredible shit in the next 10 years. And if I don't have some kind of a roadmap, then, I mean, I'm not even aiming for anything. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely do that as an exercise. A Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham is a phenomenal book, by the way, if nobody's read it, read it. A Road Less Stupid, Keith Cunningham, read it. Don't take that note down too quickly. Yeah, so, you know, that's definitely something I would suggest to do, where no matter where you are in that journey. Andre Jackson, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Everybody can hear me fine?
Loud and clear, brother.
All right, awesome. So my big win, yes, I've been in business under 3 years, but I've been doing seal coating for a decade now. But yeah, I landed a 35-acre project. Yeah, but you guys gotta understand, I've been doing it with a 250-gallon water tank. And started off with buckets. My biggest thing, and it's a good issue to have, but my biggest thing is since I've started, I've landed nothing but these kind of jobs. And I've been trying to go about it the right way. This is my second year. I built up my my tax report, so now I can go for a line of credit. But the biggest thing for me is, what advice do you guys have on strategic growth, especially when, you know, I want to be humble about it, but when you're getting jobs like this, I have so many jobs where the sky is the limit. I'm in northern Indiana, like right on the state line, Michigan and Indiana. So
sorry, did you say 15 acre?
I heard 35.
35 acres?
Yep, and I lost it. And hear me out, guys. I lost about $50,000 in lessons learned and hiring people, like I didn't plan it right. You know, the last company that I underbidded myself by at least 30,000, if not more.
That's 1.5 million square feet, Andre. That's 1.5 million square feet.
Yeah.
What kind of property is it?
It's called Woodland Crossings, if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, it has Kroger's there.
You closed the deal?
Oh yeah. So I did it last year, just the crack repair. I did the crack repair last year for 70-something thousand. This year he wants me to do it all. But I bidded him at 158.
$158,000?
Yes.
158,000. So you're just over 10 cents a square foot.
I'm
dude,
learning.
that's it. And is that one coat or two coat?
That's only for one coat.
Holy shit. And how many other projects like that are kind of in your pipeline?
Unlimited. I can't. So I got South Bend International Airport. Guys, I'm not joking. Judd, I'm not sure if you remember me, but I've been reaching out to you for years. You've been giving me advice on, and I'm blessed, and I thank you guys, because I listen to everything you say, Facebook groups. I'm talking all of you. So
you want to come and be my salesman?
Look, I'm not sure if this is like what my gift is. You know, I just knew how to seal coat.
Holy cow! You can be. I thought I was doing good. I just closed a 365,000 square feet car lot yesterday. I thought I was doing good, and I closed a church about 2 hours ago. It's like 115,000, but holy cow!
Yeah, Judd recommended me here because I messaged him like, hey man, I got this 300,000 square foot HOA, and it's like, man, you know, Like, how would you go about it? Like, look, who would be in this group?
First and foremost, I would say let's make sure that the cost analysis is being done associated with this. We need to make sure that you're walking away from these kind of jobs rich, because there's an opportunity there. And what I'd love to understand is, I'd love to understand from the time of engagement with that lead, what that looked like from then until the actual closing of the deal, and how many bids went in. So if there was an RFQ that came in, I'd love to know how many bids you're up against. Was it 3?
So the way the ecosystem is around here, we have 3 big dogs, but they're also busy with toll roads, bypasses, you know, and whatever other government contracts that they have. I haven't really had, I've been getting like subcontracts from them. Like it's been nothing but support. A secret of mine, what I do is, instead of going to the actual business, I look up the property tax and go to the owner of the property. I'm not sure if everybody does that or not.
Andre, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Just being curious. If your closing job's that big, the market's that hot, and it doesn't matter, and you're just going to get all the work, have you thought about raising that price over 10 cents a square foot?
So I'm at 15. I do 15 to 24 cents, but I was afraid to lose this bigger one. He gave me that first opportunity, so that's kind of why I went there with that. And then here's the dumb part. I was thinking, oh yeah, I can do this, and I'm gonna make this. Not thinking, oh, maybe I'm gonna be hiring people. I didn't think about my labor costs, you know. So I didn't add those in.
What are you paying for sealer out there?
What do I have it written down? Give me a second, because you know they just
probably at this point about 250 to 260 a gallon.
Yep,
gotta be
exactly 250. I'm the only thing around is Sealmaster, so that's who I go.
Yeah, I was just asking because I mean, at those numbers, you're eating up 50% of the job just in sealer cost. That's I'm just curious. I'm just digging.
No, that's the truth. That's why I'm like reaching out to you guys. Like, it all may sound good, but I'm not taking advantage of. I am, because you know I went from 0 to this, but at the same time,
I strongly recommend getting into a deep cost analysis associated with these kind of projects before they get quoted and closed, signed, and the delivery side of this. The reason why I'm saying that is because there are people on the screen here, right here, that you'd be able to work with to be able to get that project done in potentially a faster period of time for the phases that you're going to roll out. And then scale into, I mean, if your strength is really closing these size deals, dude, you should not be on a parking lot sealing any cracks, doing any seal coat whatsoever. You should be working with partners to complete those projects, and you should be closing in as many of those freaking things that you possibly can. And
that's what my lawyer tells me. He says my biggest problem is I need to get out of my own way. That's what I mean. That goes back to my question on how do I gain and retain employees. Like, what was your growth strategy with that?
Yeah, dude, this is such a good conversation, and I feel like it's one that needs a lot of time. This is not because of the actual size of these jobs. I'd love to spend some time with you on that, and I'd love if we came back with kind of to this roundtable with maybe a session where we speak about the new organizational structure of how you're going to roll this out going forward to scale your business. Because last thing I want you to do is talk about 1.5 million square feet and that you broke even. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, Judd, that's essentially what happened. I mean, I made a little bit of profit, but that's essentially what happened. I bought a couple of enclosed trailers, a new striper machine, you know, a couple of toys. So
yeah, Judd, I would think that would be an interesting topic. And I wasn't, I was just asking because to already be at a 50% margin before you paid for anything else it might be okay on one if it's getting you in the door, but over time, long-term, job on top of job on top of job, you're going to find out that you're going to get excited at the end of the year and go, hell yeah, we did $7 million. And then look at the P&L and go, well, how do we lose 30 grand? Well, if you're not in your books every day, you won't realize it because you're just turning so many dollars. You think you're doing great and you find out you aren't. But I think I'm a numbers person, so I think it's very important. I mean, I think everybody should know exactly what it costs you every single day to operate the company down to the hour. I mean, I figured it out this year. We had our employee meeting at the beginning of the year. I said, guys, if you want coffee in the morning, there's coffee here at the shop. There's a coffee maker. If not, get it on your own. We're cutting out the morning stop at Rural Farms because you want to go talk for 10 minutes. Because what you guys don't realize is 15 minutes at Rural Farms cost me $200.
Yep.
And you literally break it down to the minute. And you'll realize how valuable time is. And if you break it down to the minute and you realize how valuable everybody's time is, you will quickly invest more money into things that will make you more efficient because you'll realize, man, $1,000 seems like a lot, but I could pay for that in 3 hours of overhead. So those numbers are really important.
That lays into all your fixed and variable as well when projects are laid out. So you've got all of your fixed that need to be broken down to the hour, literally, to operate. And then you have your variable costs associated with going out and actually performing. Chris, that piece of advice right there, if everybody doesn't walk away and truly audit and analyze what it is that the depth of your costs are, you're making a mistake to your business. Go do it.
Go ahead. I was like, obviously sealer, paint, asphalt, stone, those things are variables, but our overhead is, I mean, there's everything's in there from, the internet to the electric to the miscellaneous expense to monthly maintenance on equipment, tags, insurance, lawyer fees. Because at some point, I've never been sued, but it's going to happen. So there's a budget in it. I mean, every bit of that is in the overhead. And I can tell you exactly to the minute, at the end of every day, everything gets cost analysis. So we take a job and go, okay, this job was this. We're there 3.5 hours. Travel time gets split between this one and this one. Here's how the job broke. And at the end of the year, we can look at those folders and go, okay, these jobs all sold very quickly. They all made, they didn't make very much money, or this job didn't sell. And so it just allows you to look at those things and adjust your pricing. But I think anybody that does not know what their cost is to operate every single day, personally, I think they're in the wrong.
I agree. And if you don't know what your costs are every single day, then you're blind. The other thing too is, like, I know it on the first of every month, to give you an idea, like, and write this down, guys, because it's such an important thing. I know at the beginning of the month, on the first of the month, I know exactly the amount of revenue that we need to generate that within that month in order to break even. I know what our goal is to break even, and then I know what our goal is to be able to make money. And so let's just throw a number. If we're not making $700,000 in sales, I don't make any money. And I'm just throwing a number. It's not the number, but like, just to give you an idea, right? If you don't know what you need to be doing in order to be break even, then what are you going out and doing? You don't know how many people you can hire. You see, the goal that you set for yourself, or that break even, will actually determine what you can set up before that to achieve that. So you could go hire 6 people right now. You could go recruit 6 incredible people, 3 people from a landscaping company and 3 sales rep from a dealership because there's no cars and they can't sell anything. And you're going to bring those people on with big fat salaries, $100,000 a year salaries. And you could do it. And I'm shooting the shit right now, but you could do it. You just need to know what you need to do in order to pay for all of that, right? So make sure that you're understanding the depth of that. I believe, Connor, you had your hand up, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my big win was senior living facilities. I got one last year, and it's like a 70,000 square foot lot. But then I went and talked to another one and pitched another one, and he got me 6 other sister facilities all in the area. Because the good part about them is they get their inspections because it's all state funded. So they have to make sure their cracks are filled, make sure the potholes are filled, all that kind of stuff. So that was my big win. It wasn't anything. It was maybe like 120,000 square feet between the 6 of them, but still a good one, Yeah. And they're all easy. So just fill crack, seal it, slap some paint on it, and move on.
Congratulations. And tell us a little bit about where you are right now. Any struggles, anything that you're challenged with?
Right now, a challenge would be just a challenge everyone has, but getting more working capital. Like I wanted to bid on these jobs. It was one came up for an airport runway. It was like 250,000 square foot airport runway, but you need you need to get bonded, and you need to show X amount down and all that sort of stuff. So it's just right now, if it were 2 months from now into the season, I'd probably be able to bid on it. But right now, no. That's the tough part. I see jobs like that. I mean, that's an 250,000 square foot open spray, easy job, but
if you guys at any point in time are bidding on a project, and you have a chat with me about it, and you need funding you need material to be able to go and complete the project. I don't care if it's a bulk load or if it's crack sealer, if you have a 10 pallet order that you need, whatever it is. If you guys need that in order to get the job completed and then receive payment within X amount of terms, I can work 30 days net with you guys. As long as I have the signed contract, I'll work with you guys on that. I don't do this publicly, but I'm here to work with you guys to make sure that you're winning. Don't lose a project because of potential supply funding. Open just the way that you communicate and close deals with other people. Close deals with your suppliers, negotiate and work with your suppliers to make sure that they're supporting you, because this is a team effort. It's not just about you and the customer. It's about the whole piece of that.
I appreciate that. Has anyone ever had to deal with it's less for this, it's less about the supply and more about the getting bonded for a job. Anyone ever have to deal with that?
We've done a little bit of it. I mean, I would tell you honestly, my personal opinion, if it's airport, walk away from it. That's my personal opinion. I mean, I've looked back at some of the stuff we did 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and 5 years down the road, I've finally drilled a hole deep enough into my brain to make myself realize that not every job is a good job, and there's some shit you just walk away from. And it's taken me a long time to realize that, but I finally got to the point that there's some stuff that is such a headache, and yeah, it makes decent money, but when you look at the amount of time that you invest in it, you could have made so much more money somewhere else. And the whole bonding process, we've done it on some jobs. It's not that big of a deal, but it is time consuming. And I personally think at a smaller scale business, if you're, 1, 2, 3 person operation, I don't know if it's worth putting the effort into it, unless you have somebody that can do it for you and you don't have to invest your time. But that's a personal opinion.
All right. Appreciate it.
Jeremy Staple, welcome, brother. Can you hear us, Jeremy?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Doing well. I'd love your input, brother, regarding the bonding, and just making sure that you're essentially able to provide the collateral that's necessary to go and do some of these bigger jobs.
It really isn't a complicated process. I mean, anytime you reach out to your insurance agent, you should be able to get a bond for. I just got one last week for $5,000. It cost me $100. It was turned around same day. So, that's my experience. It's more of a handoff to the people that are experts at it. But that's it. It's as long as you got a good insurance company, it should be something that they turn around, same day, same week.
Yeah, and I don't really have it. That's a whole different ballgame. I don't have any experience with $5,000 bonds. I mean, the stuff I was talking about are not performance bonds and stuff like that on $500,000 or $1 million projects. And they can take a little longer to turn around than that, but that's personal experience.
Got it.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure. All right, guys. Any other questions that we want to pop up? We're coming up here on the top of the hour.
Go ahead.
No, please.
One thing I ran into I thought was really, really interesting. I've never really had much success with it, but just last week We had a HOA that we bid for mill and pays for their streets. And it was a $265,000 job. We were $30,000 high on the next bidder below us. And I was, it's just one of those things. It is what it is. And we move on to the next one. And about a couple of days later, I get a phone call that they wanted to use us. And I'm like, wait a minute, they already told me that they had selected another contractor. Well, come to find out what happened was they didn't have they have the funding coming in to do the project, but they don't have the funding to do the project right now. And the other contractor was not able to do anything for them. So I had made a phone call to a guy that I connected with randomly on Instagram and actually was able to find a company that would finance an HOA based on their financials of the money they have coming in and their assets. And so I was actually able to find a company that would finance a $265,000 mill and pay for HOA neighborhood. So thought that was interesting. Didn't really know it was a thing, but thought it was interesting. So
very cool.
I got a question to those that are transitioning from residential to commercial, and it's about storage space and where are you finding places to house your equipment, to put an extra trailer, to have another truck if you don't have the space, obviously, in your home. Where are you guys finding your space, and are you obviously paying for it? How much? Are you buying land? What's going on out there?
We actually just got a space, a new space for Pad Pal. We got a residential home, like a pretty big home, and there's plenty of space for trailer and parking. And after doing quite a bit of research, it's one of those things where it's like a lot of the commercial space is booked, actually booked up where we are, and it's very expensive for what you get. So we got like a big house, and it's actually we did a video of it actually. I'm gonna post it on TikTok soon. But there's enough for a content. And we filled up the fridge, filled it it's gonna be like an office, and yeah, that's what we did. It's $2,700 a month, has a nice garage, a backyard, and work out of there, man. For $2,700 commercial, you couldn't get anything really. Commercial, you're looking at least $5,000 where we are for an open room, right? And then
how does that work?
Are they going to give you issues about running a commercial business out of residential?
Well, the thing is, what do you really, you don't have customers coming to your house. For us, at least, the way it's going to be is the guys meet there in the morning. We're going to do our training in the living room. And then we have our office staff that are going to work there during the day. We have a trailer in the driveway. We have the stuff in the garage. It's not like we're running a wood shop or you know what I mean? It's very, I don't know, we don't have dump trucks and shit like that. I don't know what you guys have for equipment wise. We'll have a trailer in the driveway. There's nothing. And a truck park there, a couple trucks.
It'd be interesting to know. I know in the United States. I'm not sure about in Canada. I know in the United States there's some legalities around that stuff.
Yeah, there's
all about your zoning.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. I mean, our shop actually is on a 17-acre piece of land, kind of out in the country a little bit, but it's technically a residential property. So what I did actually was I had all the neighbors that live around there write a letter saying that they were cool with it. Everything looks good, blah, 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 blah. Then we went to the county and got a special exception to run a commercial paving company. And then because of all the letters, it had to go to vote. Obviously, they all voted because the neighbors said it was okay. And now we have a permanent special exception on the property to run a commercial paving company. So it can be done. It just depends on the area.
Question for everybody here, just in general to ask, and I'm not looking for an answer, but I think it's important that we ask ourselves this question, which is, laying out that roadmap of where we really want to go over the next year here. Where do you want to be next winter? In the same kind of rolling into April of 2023, what is that going to look for you guys? And I think it would be really, really cool if you laid out what that roadmap would look like, where you want to be in a year from now and what you want your business to look like. How many employees do you want to employ? And what is it that you're moving into next year? Are you going to be adding more services? Are you going to be upgrading a spray system? Are you going to be starting a paving division? Are you going to expand into another state? But I'd really love it if everybody could I'd love to go through next week of where you're going to be in the next year. And let's raise our hands and go through this same thing for next week, which is in 1 year from now. Where are we going to be? How much will you have grown, right? What is it? How much is your net profit going to improve? What is that BHAG that you ultimately have? Your BHAG is your BHAG, BHAG. Anybody know what BHAG is? Big, hairy, audacious goal. Big, hairy, audacious goal. And so I think that's important to reflect on, because a lot of the time, guys, in our business, we end up in a state of what I call the hamster wheel. We've talked about it a bunch, but I don't want to be in the same spot in a year from now. And I'm not talking about just financially, but I want to have more impact, bigger impact. You guys are having bigger impact. Look at this shit going on right now. This is awesome, man. So like, where are we going to be in a year from now? And let's come back next week and speak about some of the things that maybe we can do to achieve that. Adam, yeah.
Gold Digger Retreat 2023 or what?
Yeah, we're gonna do a Gold Digger Retreat. Yeah, this winter we're gonna do one for sure. Yeah. I mean, we have for some of you may know, I bought a hotel here in Anguilla right as COVID hit unexpectedly. The timing was a little bit off, but it was a little bit right because there was nobody coming to the island. So it was a good time to renovate. But yeah, we have a pretty cool spot here, and we're going to do some pretty awesome workshops and things that are going to come up. But yeah, we can definitely, hopefully, whoever can make it down. It's not going to be a big investment at all, just to cover your flight and room rates, which are simple, but we're going to do some pretty intensive, fun stuff. And when I say intensive, fun stuff, I'm not talking about sitting in a classroom with a marker board all day long. I'm talking about, Adam knows some of the things that we've done, but Michael, you too. But yeah, stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming next winter. Chris, you know about the Gold Digger Retreat because of the last one that we had. But guys, listen, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you guys, as always, for always paying it forward, man. I think there were a lot of really great shares. Hopefully there was, I certainly got some takeaways. Hopefully you guys got some takeaways tonight. Everybody fine? Got some takeaways? Yeah, cool. I mean, thumbs up, everybody on the camera. That's what we ultimately want to leave with. Andre, I look forward to chatting with you, man, in person, doing a session with you, and maybe talking a little bit about that roadmap with the team.
Likewise. Thank you.
Cool. Guys, cheers, man. I'm out of here. You guys are welcome to stay on, but I'm gonna be on out. Everybody, enjoy your time. Let's crush this next week. Get ready. The floodgates literally open up this weekend. So enjoy. And don't forget to file your taxes. See you guys.
Yeah.
See you, Judd.
See you, buddy.
If anybody has any other ideas on where you're storing your equipment, I'd love to hear it, because that's one of my challenges that in order to expand, I kind of need some more space.
Yeah, Rob, so that kind of, I started out in my garage too, and yeah, now we're at 2 trailers and 2 trucks as well. So I don't need like a ton of space, but
where are you keeping it, Anthony?
So I just started checking in the city that I live in. I just started checking in the industrial area and just noticed some establishments that just had fenced in, backs to their spots. So it's basically I'm renting just some outdoor space from a home remodeler, and I'm literally paying only $300 a month. Wow. to have my 2 trucks and trailers there. I'm going to talk to him about maybe being able to put in like some sort of a shed or a container, because now I just got more like walk behind blowers and crack filling machines, and
it's got to be inside,
stuff like that. I don't want that running off, but it is, the nice thing is it's fenced in with gate and lock and everything too. And so I think it's doable. That was like a good first step for me. I don't want to be paying thousands in overhead for that until I need to,
Yeah, $300, that's great for that.
Yeah. So what are they charging? Like 150 a spot, I'm guessing, or something?
Yeah. I used to pay like 200, and then I had 2 trucks. Like, how about 300? So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be worth asking them what they would charge you for another space. I mean, cause like a an 8x20 storage container, they're waterproof. It probably wouldn't cost you that much than a regular vehicle spot because they're about the same size.
Right.
And you drop an 8x20 storage unit in there, and boom, there you go. I mean, you can buy one for like $1,500.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to think about next for sure. So,
Where are you located, Anthony?
I'm in kind of the Twin Cities of Minnesota.
Okay.
So yeah, you're up there in the cold tundra up there in Canada, huh?
Yeah, we had 20 degrees today. Well, 20 degrees Celsius, right? So what we were about 75, I guess, today, something like that. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad. When do you guys normally start laying down sealer by?
So, well, our sealer at where I buy it from, it's going to be stocked on Monday. They're calibrating the tank, and then we'll be ready to go Tuesday, actually next week. Now, that's weather permitting, right? I mean, April and May, and up here in Southern Ontario is hit and miss every single day. You could fill up your tank and then not be able to use it for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right.
Do you go to make asphalt?
It's Jet Black LP, which
And they fill up your tank there.
So no, so I go right down to a place called PDQ. It's just downtown West Hamilton. And I just fill it up, and it's about 10 minutes from my place.
How much was it a liter last year?
So I was paying 96 cents a liter last year, and I think about $1.49 this year.
Oh wow. It was $1.83 here a liter. Now it's $3.
Wow.
$3 a liter?
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that in a gallon?
Fuck, I have no idea. I've been trying to learn that, man, but I still have a hard time with that. I'm getting better. I'm getting better with other conversions, but that's one I just can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready to look.
Times it by 4, eh? 5 gallons is 20 liters.
Yeah, 4 liters is just over a gallon. That's crazy. So you're paying like, how much you say it was a liter?
$3.
It's $12 a gallon.
Yeah.
What do you use? What kind of sealer?
That's what we're using. So the $3 was told to me by the people. So we're, like I said, we sub all of our residentials now. So the guy that told me that is the guy that we sub from. It's oil based from Asphalt here, but we for the commercial are going to do not coal tar, asphalt emulsion,
right?
For commercials.
AE.
Yeah,
we're running like $1. I think that delivery we got yesterday at the shop was $1.87 or $1.89 a gallon.
Wow, that's cheap.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm paying double.
I've heard that from a lot of people. And to be honest with you, so last year we were running about $1.76, $1.77. Then they told me $2.15, and then we got a delivery and it was just under $1.90. So
wow, that's great. Wow. Where you
that's when I
located?
start.
Where you located?
In Maryland on the Eastern Shore.
Yeah,
So-
we're double up this way. Cleveland area.
What are you paying, Rod?
Cleveland area.
And what are you paying?
Oh, well, they really ain't even released the prices yet, but the last time I heard it's $3.10 a gallon. And it's going up. It's only good for 7 days at a time.
See, and that's exactly why I asked the gentleman earlier how much the sealer was a gallon, because it's interesting. When he told me 10 cents, I'm like, dude, that's not a lot of money.
Crazy.
I mean, that's like, he's got 3/4 just in material.
Yeah, I mean, that's around here.
Yeah.
We're paying $1.80 a gallon around here. If you're working for 10 cents, man, you're working to eat lunch at
That's
the
great, man. I wish I could pay $1.80 a gallon. I mean, it makes me want to get like a tanker and go up there and fill it up and bring it back to my I mean, because I'd still be ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting. I say that. I mean, we're $1.88, $1.89 a gallon. Now, if you go up to the local guy, just fill your tank. Yeah, you're gonna pay them $2.60 or $2.70 because you don't have a tank, so they're gonna throw the screws to you because they.
Oh
can't.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But
that's even me with a 6,000 gallon bulk tank.
now, how many did they ask how many gallons you're gonna use?
Oh yeah.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, because
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
makes.
Well, like last year, it was like 40,000. And this year I've already got, I'm going to say probably 30,000 already allocated for jobs that are already approved for that already. And I mean, and we're literally not even started yet.
Yeah.
So, and I just closed on a big one, like I said, well, 2 more this week I just closed on. So, and then is not even allocated for with the sealer yet. So we're gonna probably be double what we was last year.
Yeah, I mean, I know some guys out in Oregon that I talk to a lot, and I mean, our asphalt this year is up $10 a ton, and we're
That's
still
exactly what
$10
this
a
went
ton.
up.
What?
Mine went up $25 a ton.
What are you guys at out there?
70. It was 75 last year, and it's 100 now.
Holy smokes! We literally just, I mean, because I was having this conversation because we're up $10 a ton, and we're still $10 a ton less than them. I mean, today, we put down 110 ton today on this new driveway we put in, and it was 62.90 a ton.
Wow. Now, was that the top base or what?
Just that was surface. Yeah,
Surface?
9.5 millimeter.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy up here, in Ohio for
And I'm sure that
sealer and asphalt.
Yeah, and I'm sure the trucking up there is probably crazy if it's like everything else up there.
Oh, it is, yeah, and it just keeps going up every day. And they're
Yeah, I mean,
they're quoting me, pricing is only good for 7 days. So when I do these estimates, I have to put on my proposals now that they're good for, I go 10 days on them, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, because I know trucking's ridiculous, and even out in like Oregon, when I talk to the Callaways, talk to Junior out there and stuff, he's like, the crazy part is they're paying $110 an hour for a triaxle, and a triaxle out there only holds 15 tons.
Well, see, now I think I'm paying, what is it, 88 an hour? 88 an hour for triaxle.
What do you haul?
Excuse me?
What can you haul on it?
25 tons.
That's like unheard of. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, out there they're getting. It's really crazy. We're in a weird market too, because I'm right in the middle of the shore, so I can be to Virginia in about 35 minutes. I can be to Delaware in about 15 minutes. And what's crazy is you can load a triaxle in Delaware. You put 15 tons on it, and it's fully loaded. That's all you can have in Virginia is 15 tons. Wow. You take it, 20 minutes up the road to Maryland, and it can haul 21 ton. And you take it another 20 minutes up the road into Virginia, and it can haul 23.
Do you have any of your trucks, or you just go ahead and source yours out?
We have 3 trucks, and we source everything else out.
How much can you haul at a time in your truck?
They're all triaxles. So in the state of Maryland, they'll all hold 21.
Oh, okay.
The Western Star is an aluminum body, so you can put 22 on it.
Right. Yeah. See, I got mine where I can only haul 8 tons a piece because I got the single axle dump.
Okay. Yep.
So I can haul 8 tons compared to they can haul 20 plus. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's really worth the $88 an hour, whether it's going to be 5 hours or 6 hours, the extra $400 or $500 to save you in fuel and time to go back and forth all day compared to have the 3 trucks there, 4 trucks there. That's all you need for whatever you're going to be doing.
Yep. And it's funny you talk about that. One of the things that was the most profitable for us when we first got into it is when we were doing seal coating and everything. We decided to get into patching, and I bought a 7x14 dump trailer. That was like a money printing machine doing that little patchwork.
Right. Yeah. See, we do a lot of seal coating, patchwork. You know what I mean? All that, and then we just now got into the paving. So, we had a really good last year for seal coating and stuff, and this year, like I said, we're pretty much booked up to July. So because I'm about 85%, 90% commercial and 10% residential. Because like you said, there's really no money in residential. You know what I mean? You can beat your head. Is it worth it going out there when you have a minimum of $350?
I mean, it's yes and no. I mean, it all depends. Right. It really depends on what you're set up for.
Right.
I mean, there's not a lot of money in the residential sector for us for seal coating, but not only is the residential paving a good cash flow side for us, it's a highly profitable side. I mean, the efficiency of, we're getting, our minimum on residential paving is $6,000. And if they're minimum driveways, we can knock out at least 3 of them in a day. I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but we made $9,000 today paving residential driveways. So, as far as there's plenty of money in it. Is there more money in commercial? Yeah, for sure. But we can do, 2 days worth of residential paving, make, $16,000, $17,000, and we have that money in the bank account like that.
Right.
So it definitely has a huge value.
Hey
There's
guys,
money, there's money in residential and commercial for any service if you're pricing your services right, acquiring customers at the right price, and doing the service in the best possible way. Residential or commercial, there's positives and negatives both. Like it's,
I agree.
yeah. Like like if I was dropped into a random city and starting from scratch, I would not go after commercial property for at least my first year. I would just go residential to
I
start.
agree.
I would not be running ads. Like there's so many ways. Like you can, like you were just like Chris was just saying, you can, if you're doing efficient, you can do things efficiently and bang out multiple residential driveways. If you're charging $300 for a single car driveway, $250 for a single car driveway, which we do because we turn down so many jobs. We fill our calendar with highly profitable jobs, do 10 jobs, $3,500 worth of work in one day. That's still, you're making bank doing that, right? It fills in a day. And then cool, you have your commercial, fills up 3 days a week. You make $5,000, 2 days a week. You need to fill your jobs in. Only fill it up with profitable residential jobs. The people are haggling for the price. Like it's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah, and it kind of the efficiency. Oh, go ahead.
Get your Google My Business profile and your branding going. And then you like, that is the one thing that like, I didn't really realize I was doing at the time, but over time from doing that sort of thing, our phone rings and someone calls us like, yeah, our friend told us to call you. I say like, people don't say no. Like it doesn't have to be, we have our sales reps now that if someone's calling in for a driveway sealing, anyone can answer the phone. Like I said, we're training my friend's girlfriend to look at our manuals, our standard operating procedures, it's all documented, to answer the phone, have a script, what to say, she says a price, and see what that closing percentage is. If you can build your presence up and know your worth and not be haggling on price all the time, build your brand, like it sounds like Chris has been doing as well, you can make money whatever serve. Like for instance, window cleaning. Like I said, that guy did the window cleaning job for us today for $100. We charged $247 and it took us one email. Quote request came in, someone that works for me, filled it out on Jobber, sent it over, the person approved it. The person that fills the job for us, it shows up in his system, he does the job, marks it complete, it sent the invoice over, the customer paid us today, the job was done today, $247 in our account, and 2 weeks from now, we see that he completed that job, we send him $100. However, if you're doing everything like that manually, it's hard to make money. If you have a system in place, we just made $150 like that, $147 like that. However, at one point it was us answering the phone, me going to quotes in person. But again, if I was doing it myself, you can still make money. When you add employees, it's all about, again, our number one service we try to sell right now is permanent holiday lighting for residential clients because it's $5,000, and then commercial sealing because it's high ticket. If we can't fill our schedule, if we're doing residential anything else or commercial anything else, it's the highest possible price we can get for that service. Anything that's not worth our time, we have a good partner for. Anything that's outside of our thing, we just say no to. I've learned that lesson. Trying to do things you can't do and trying to go with a partner you can't trust is not worth your time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened to us in the paving space. I mean, we were trying to figure. I had a conversation with a lot of people, and we were trying to figure out how to be more efficient. And what it came down to it was sitting right in front of my eyes, and I just never realized it. You know, we have a track machine we take on the paving crew every day for grading. We got a tire machine that we use on big jobs, but a lot of times it's at the shop. We'll load stone out with everything. What we ended up doing is you hire somebody else. You put them in a truck and a trailer with the skid steer that you already own, and you send them out to prep everything in front of you. And now we added the extra overhead of $2,500 a month for another guy using the equipment we already own. And now we went from doing 2 driveways in a day to 3 or 4 driveways in a day. So now we're averaging another, $3,000 to $5,000 a day in profit. And we added $2,500 a month in overhead.
Yeah. Number of games.
What's your question, Josh?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, my AC is kind of an issue here, so I have to take my shirt off. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. So a question for you guys. I've been listening to you. I haven't started seal coating or anything like that, so I'm fresh into the game here. That's something I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna start off pretty small. I have like just an 06 Ranger and just a tiny little truck. So I'm just kind of wondering. I'm located in Markham here. it'd be something that I would do on the side because I'm a firefighter in Oshawa. So I'm only working 7 days max. And then if I want to grab overtime, so I got a lot of free time on my hands. I'm just wondering what you guys kind of suggest for starting out, like a setup wise and just as a side gig, if that's something that you guys would recommend.
Josh, I'm pretty close by to you. If you want to talk afterwards, I can talk with you at length about it if you want. Anybody's got any other suggestions too, go ahead.
I appreciate that.
I'm in
Rob, you'd probably be the best one. That's, you know what I mean? You started off the way you are, 'cause you're the teacher. You know what I mean? Explain to them what, how you started off.
I started kind of on a whim, right? And it wasn't even something I was even on the radar, and just kind of dawned on me. I was, doing my rental property and somebody came by and asked. So I started out just kind of like watching Judd's videos and doing all that kind of stuff that pretty much everybody on here has been doing. And then the first thing I really did was I put my ads on Facebook, and I hadn't even bought any equipment yet. I just made up some ads, I put it on there, and then I started getting the jobs coming in. It's like, shit, I got to buy something now. And so I knew I had some revenue coming in. So then I simply started with buckets. Like I wouldn't if you think that it's something that you're going to stick with for a little while, I would, if you have that money to make that little bit of an investment, I would go to a trailer and get a tank. And so maybe you're putting in, and again, it depends on what your numbers are like, right? I mean, you already have a truck, right? If you can pull like a 130 seal coat tank, or even a 230, you need a tandem trailer, right? That's probably the best way to go, because you're not going to be filling up as much, and you're going to be getting all those residential jobs. Those jobs will come in fast, right? Like the residential stuff, when you put your ads on Facebook, and I can show you some of the stuff that I put out, and I just make up ads just from free marketing things, and it's simple little ads. I put my pictures on there, and people just call you. They just bing, 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 bing. They see the pictures, and then once you get that little bit of a reputation, it just snowballs, right? So it depends. Again, it goes back to what your investment is, but if you can afford it, you're going to make it back really quick, right?
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll grab your number then afterwards. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is like I've been following Judd and a couple other guys on here. I've seen Adam's stuff on TikTok there, and so that's helped give me kind of an idea of where to start. But it's something like you have so much spare time, and everyone's doing a side hustle on the fire department there. So it's something I think I just need to pull the trigger on and stop thinking about it, because I'm in Markham here, so it's pretty, like, around my subdivision here, it's pretty darn, it's bare. Like I don't see any advertisement or nothing. Like it doesn't seem like it's a market that's really tapped into a lot.
It's really not. There's not a lot of people doing it, surprisingly enough. And if they are doing it, they're not getting their name out there, and that's all you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
I'll
put my number in the chat there.
Yeah, I'll send you.
That's an interesting topic too, because I've talked to a lot of people that have said Facebook advertising is dead and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, I've had huge success with Facebook advertising, and I think it really all comes down to what type of ad you put out as far as how it's going to convert. But we use it from a level of retargeting and the pixels and all that kind of stuff, and we've had huge success with it.
Yeah. I think if you keep at it and you're continuing to post, that algorithm just builds, right? And it just goes out to more and more people all the time, right?
But I think using that Facebook pixel is a big deal, being able to track that stuff and retarget and stuff.
What's the Facebook pixel?
Are you familiar with that, Adam? I'm sure you are, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Facebook pixel just tracks all. Yeah. We have a pretty detailed stack at PadPal. Like we track our Facebook pixel. So basically, like if they go from Facebook to our website, we track what pages they visit on their website. We have triggers so that if they're on a page for a certain amount of time, it creates a task to give them a call. Like we track everything, and then you can create your customer personas. So we have different ads that run to different groups of people. Like we'll have ads that are running to people that are business owners or entrepreneurs or lawyers that have different brand messaging. to messages. Like we have ads that will only be shown to females, and then we can see how they interact with that. And then we'll test like we'll split tests. Like, so we'll run like one ad to a Facebook lead form. We'll run another ad to a landing page. And then from those, whatever perform better, we'll run different landing pages, like a different landing page, A/B split test. And then whatever ad's running the best, then you put your money into it. It takes a bit of time, but when you fine tune it, for instance, like our Christmas lights, when we first started, it was costing us like for permanent lights. Again, this is all brand new within the last month, I guess 6 weeks, maybe call it. Our ads, we went from $100 per lead down to 60, which is a huge improvement. It's going to keep going down, which again sounds like a lot. $60 per lead, which is again like qualified lead. We don't count if they don't talk on the phone and do a quote and stuff. But then one, we already have enough number and brought it down enough to like look at our numbers. Like, okay, if we can bring it down even like a little bit more and converting on the same numbers we only need to do $120. We're going to spend this much in ad. This is what our conversion rate is going to be, and this is how much like knowing your numbers on that, you can reverse your whole business down to your ad spend. Like, and the more you can track, like from the second you put out $1, try to get a customer to how much they're worth, the better you can track that. And then you have an ad that's performing, it just becomes like turning the ad on and like running it, right? Like it's, if every time you spend if I know every time I spend $60, I can get 10 leads and I'm going to close 3 of those leads. Our average ticket is $5,000. Then we can leave those ads on. Like, why would you ever turn that ad off?
Yeah. How did you learn how to do all this stuff? Like, where do you get the background knowledge for that?
I learned Pixel on YouTube, but but we're not using that at the level Adam's using. I mean, the main thing that I use that we've had huge success with is just retargeting campaigns back out to the people that already spent time on our website. So they were clearly interested. So now instead of spending money for people that, hey, we don't know what their deal is. Hey, let's target an ad that just goes towards these people that were clearly interested at some level because they already clicked the link to go to the website and spent some time on
there. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, the groundwork putting in for this stuff is intense, but we're getting to the point now to start seeing the results, and it's crazy. It's just to be able to look at like our dashboard and just know, like, I can take it. Can I do screen share? 3830. I gotta say.
Actually, can I ask a quick question here, guys? Just a quick one. Is it possible to run if you're just starting out to run a single man truck, if you have that 55-gallon drum off the back? Is it possible to do it a single, or does I have a couple? Obviously, pardon me.
In the Ford Ranger, reminding.
Yeah, in the Ford Ranger. So it's an 06. Like I'd have to get a trailer tow, like you guys were kind of mentioning. Would you suggest, is it possible to do it just with one guy if I'm just starting out? Because I'm a little unsure. I could definitely get guys that could work for me, but is that something if I want to do on the side, it'd be possible to do with one guy, just residential?
Yeah, I mean, you can. It might be tough on the 90-degree days, but it can be done.
Yeah, I've gone out plenty of times and done it just by myself. When like I usually had my son with me. I had a buddy that came out with me a lot last year, and sometimes 2. But I mean, it takes a little bit more time for sure. If you get into a routine of doing the same thing every single time, and one guy's got one job and the other guy's got the other job, you can zip through it. So it's just a matter of you doing it all yourself. It's going to take more time for sure. But I mean, if you can't beat the profit margin when you're doing it yourself, though.
It's nice to have someone help you, I think, man. Yeah. Like the odd time, you can do both. You can flip flop. You don't need somebody. Sometimes you do, I guess.
But I will tell you, if you do it, and whether you're by yourself or you have somebody else, spend the $10 or $20 to get a t-shirt for both of you that match.
Yeah. It's more fun working with somebody else too, especially somebody you like to work with. Yeah,
it is. I've gotten bigger into branding, and I'm huge on everybody. Like, don't come in the shop in the morning and not have a company shirt, sweatshirt, or pants on. Because if you do, just go home. You're not working. Like that's how serious it is. Like, I pay for it. I pay $22 a week for everybody to have a company uniform. They get 11 of them. The uniform company picks them up, cleans them, drops them off. That's what we're wearing. If you don't have it, don't come to work. And that's just what we do. It's set in stone and everybody knows it. So
It's a tight ship there. I like that.
Hey Rob, how do you sorry to switch conversation a little bit there. Rob, do you run ads right now, Rob, or no?
Yeah, I do. I usually put out an ad. Like I'm probably on, I got to be on probably 70 different community Facebook pages, all around Hamilton, Burlington, Ancaster, Oakville, out to Stony Creek, Binbrook, like all those areas that are kind of central around Hamilton. And so I just put them out on all those different community pages, right? I've got my Google My Business page. I'm just waiting to get my website set up. It should be done any day now. And then, so I think that's going to increase a lot of leads as well, obviously. So, but yeah, so I'll probably put out at least 2 or 3 a week. I get bored that nothing's coming in that day, which rarely happens now. And I go, okay, I got to put an ad out. So I just do, and then you get dinged.
And then what, you message them on Facebook?
Yeah, I use Facebook Messenger. So it actually helps me log, aside from the system that say you're running, which is obviously way better. But I mean, I've got that system on Messenger where I just have all their contact information in there, right? I know the price I've given them. If I forget something, I write everything down, obviously, but I can just go right back to that Messenger and look at the whole script of what we've talked about and go from there.
And then you book the jobs. How do you book the jobs in?
Yeah, I book. So I will. 95% of the jobs I do, except for the commercial ones, right, are right through Google Earth, or sometimes I use the measuring tool.
No,
right.
sorry.
I ask a lot of. What's that?
Sorry. I didn't really word my question right. I meant like, so let's say you guys talk on Facebook. So you wrote in the Facebook community group, comment info. If you want more info, I'll send you a quote, whatever you say, whatever. You talk to them in chat. You ask them a couple of questions, look it up on Google Earth. You're like, hey, it's gonna be $300. The residential client, you're doing this, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
Residential, you're okay, it's gonna be $300. And they're like, okay, sounds good. And then what's your next step?
So I give them a time period in which I'll be out there. I'll tell them I'm going to call them within a day or two before we come out.
Yeah.
Right. I always make sure I get all the details in terms of what that property is like, because I don't want to show up there and find it's full of weeds. It's got cracks in it, this and that, and waste my time doing something. Right. So sometimes I get them to send a picture. Right. But it'll be quote, follow up, and that's about it. Right. It's pretty simple. It works pretty seamlessly that way. I really don't have many problems. So I try to ask as many questions as I can so I avoid any kind of little issues.
And then you call them and say, hey, I'm gonna be there Thursday at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you show up there.
Yeah.
And then they pay you a check.
No, cash. Like not like 95, 96, 97% of the jobs I do, residential jobs, are all cash.
And you do this, you do this full time now, or you still do teaching?
I'm still teaching. So that's, like I said, I can retire in November. So I might go in February, which is the end of first semester, and then just do this full time. Because right now, this is the hectic time right now, right? Where I'm getting all these. So I've probably got, I have about $40,000 on the books up until June to do. And
so last year you said how much you said?
We did about 60 to 70. So I'll double. I'll probably close to double what I did last year.
You had 67, you said on the books?
Yeah. 60. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not, I mean, for working 2 full-time months out of the year, and then part-time from May to June and September and October. Now, last year and the last 2 weeks of August, I was out because someone stole the engine off my tank, and I had to order a new tank from Judd, or a new engine. Yeah. So
yeah, that sounds, I mean, what you're talking about sounds very familiar to where I was. And I'll be honest with you, it sounds like it's working well for you, but I'll tell you one thing I did that kind of slowed things down a hair is I waited too long to implement any systems, and it drastically affected the speed at which I was able to scale the company. Yeah. Because at $60,000 or $80,000, it doesn't matter. But when you try to get to $500,000, it's way too much paperwork for
Yeah.
one person to do without something that's automated.
100%. And that's one of my areas that,
Adam, you know what I'm saying? Adam sounds like the automated king, so he'd be the one to ask, but
yeah, exactly. We got to talk to him for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was gonna ask you. So, what's your biggest struggles right now? Because, yeah, what would you say your biggest struggles are right now?
So finding,
Do you have guys doing the work for you, or is it, or?
I have some paving contractors on my team that I can go out to. I've got an infrared heat guy that I call on now to do my infrared stuff, which I've just started doing. I've got my pressure washing guy, who's actually my next door neighbor. So I'm finding the jobs, quoting, and then he's gonna, once we do a little training with him, he's gonna go out and do the pressure washing jobs himself. So I've got some of the stuff starting to be contracted out, right? But for the main part, the seal coating, I'm out there doing it, right, with one other person. So my kind of,
Help you, I can.
what's that?
Yeah, just like hearing where you're at. Like I know exactly where you're at. And I just like see like the next like few moves. Like,
What are they?
like, well, it's just like I was just like talking to my brother earlier today. We were on the phone. He's like we're talking about like him starting the driveway sealing and stuff. And then I'm like, well, man, like it's like, you know, he was talking about like other services. I'm like, well, no matter what you do, you're guaranteed, because you can just like like I know exactly where you are. I know the fastest way to get to where you need to be. So like here you are, like $60,000. Like when I hear that, I'm like, okay, that's like, I remember when I was doing that and like what the actual moves I made that made the biggest difference were, right?
Okay.
Like for instance, like right now, as soon as you're saying subcontracting, that there's a lot of money to be made in doing that. Expect like every single client you have, you can make another $700 at least on them. Like we charge a lot of money for our services, and the people that fulfill the services for us do a good job. They don't require a lot of money, and they do good work. They show up in our brand. It's again, it took a lot of learning on our end to get there. I'm not sure how much that can be like sped up, especially it's like, because again, we have a lot of systems in place. But again, just even for you, like starting at square one, just like having a software to manage your customers and that stuff would be.
So you use Jobber, correct?
Yeah, we have like a different stack. I would start with Jobber for sure.
Okay.
At least start with Jobber, and then yeah, and then like I'm not sure what's your website.
I don't have it. It should be up soon. I don't have it.
Right, sorry about that. And then do you have a Google My Business?
I got to Google My Business. Yeah, you can look that up. Black Max Asphalt Services. So, and I think I've had a few leads from there. Sometimes it's hard to tell because the phone number's on there, so people call you and I'm not sure where it's coming from. But I know this first thing I got to do once I get the website is get the website linked to that, and then I got kind of pictures on there, and I've been adding those more and more all the time. So
just as you hear, 905-536-2309.
Yeah.
Follow you on Instagram.
What's that?
Follow you on Instagram.
Go to my Instagram.
Follow you on Instagram. I said you have good Instagram. I follow you on Instagram. March 28th. So you're posting on it. 8 reviews. Man, reviews is the number one thing.
So
like,
yeah.
Like if when our phone rings and someone says, I typed it in and you guys come up, or I like, because we have on our HubSpot, we can see what we know. Like again, like it's always interesting when we say, oh, you searched us up, like when they search up Pad Pal, it's like, oh, cool. Like they looked us up by name and they're like, oh, like someone told me or I heard about it somewhere. That when someone says that to you on the phone, the price is the price doesn't matter. Like someone says, oh, like when they're looking up you by name and say, oh, like what made you give us a call? Like, oh, like I heard about you guys from someone before. I can't remember. And then I saw your guys' reviews and you have we have 121 reviews. So we come up instantly on the top. Our things updated. Like we like it, the price, like the people that are calling us now, finally, started like midsummer last year. The people that are calling us are the people that you tell them a price, you go there, they pay you, and they tell people that are doing the same thing, like paying the top dollar for the service that are not headaches.
Yeah.
We've skimmed that like crazy. We had to have a couple tough conversations, but we've gotten to that spot. Like for instance, like we have customers for permanent lights that we quoted them $9,000. They had a quote for 3,800. I went down to 8,500 and they still signed with us.
Wow.
They spent over double the price to go with us because of warranty. We've done lights with them before, the removable ones. We threw in the driveway ceiling and windows. So,
Yeah.
but still another, call it $3,000 worth of service because we've built the trust up. And then
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, do you know someone that builds decks? But if we don't, we don't. If we do, and we have someone, like that's another really good way to make money.
How long did it take you to build that light service?
The residential, the seasonal.
Yeah.
Well, I started it. That was last year was my third year. Yeah. My first year, I did it myself. I learned it all myself, really the hard way. I learned a lot of tough lessons. And I think we did like 65,000 my first year in the fall. And then my second year, I did like 120 or something. And then last year we did 2 vehicles, 40 days of installs. We did 100 and a little over 100,000 each vehicle.
That's unreal. And how many weeks?
40 days of installs. So like
40 days.
Yeah, 40 days worth of jobs produced.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
And they're all, the thing is too, is that 95% of those jobs are leased the lights. So most of those contracts are on 3-year agreements, and we have $1,000 minimum. It's a 3-year agreement, and they lease the lights from us.
Okay, so you go, you install them, you take them down after the season's over, and then you have 3 years that you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, or 3 years. On the 3-year, we offer discounts and all of that. But the process, yeah, we go there, we do a mock-up design on the house, we do it on the iPad. It's like it's a luxury service, right? Like it's a luxury service, but yeah, like people, and it's mind-blowing. People's residential clients spend $4,000 to light up their home.
They got to be luxury homes too, right? Like they're not just.
Well, we have a lot of residential homes too. Like we can bang out like 3 $1,500 homes in a day easy, right?
So what's this like a $1,500 getting you what? Like what size of house you looking at? Like what are you charging per square foot when you put up a light?
No, it goes more lights is not like asphalt or anything. Like it's not like asphalt or pressure washing. It's like I said, like my first year I just learned by failing so much. But it's not like I'm not saying it's rocket science by any means.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit more that goes into it than the other services. I'm just show you an example of a house. 1 sec.
Yeah, there's a guy around here that has a power washing company, and that's what they do from November to February. Put up lights, take down lights.
Do they?
Yeah, and get stupid money. My neighbor got it to do it this year, and he told me, he's like, dude, I just got my house lit up. It was $2,200. I'm like, dude, they put up a freaking 150-foot strand of lights, icicles on your goddamn gutters. Like it's crazy.
I'm sorry, I'm just pulling one up right now to
get. Now, while you're looking at, now you said a couple of weeks ago, I think you said the hardest part is maintaining the commercial lights that you're buying, making sure you're getting the supply of them.
Pardon? Yeah, that like the supply chain issues is the biggest thing. I'm working on that right now. I'm trying to. I mean, you can jump on another call because I don't want to like. No. I'm just shooting. Yeah, but we're working on the lights thing right now. So I'll screen shared. Can you see it now? Mine, yeah.
No, it's still on you.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. You're the host right now, Rob.
I am. I gotta. Where am I? Share screen. Okay, there you go.
No, you're sharing your screen. You have to enable share screen for me.
Sorry, I always use. I don't use Zoom that much. Oh, fuck.
Can I request to be the host?
Can you? Multiple participants. There you go.
Okay, cool. I got it. Real good. You see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this house here, we did the front and then the side for seasonal.
Mhm.
Hey, just to see I'm not bullshitting you guys. 700 Triton Place. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry, I'm on the.
You are the absolute man on camera, I tell you. Like, you just roll through those little ads you do. I love it.
You're what, sorry?
I said you're the man on those ads you do. You just roll through it like it's like you're. I'm sure it's taking you a few shots to do it, but man, it's like it's just rolls off your tongue.
On TikTok?
Yeah. I love it.
See the so yeah, so this is it right here. That job there was 1382 for, so you can see this is interesting. So this one here was for 1382 for the holiday lights. He did that last year. And then this year we had him go with the permanent lights. Just the front of the house was 4,124.
On which house was that?
For this house here, same house, but
Yeah.
last year we did sorry, I don't know how to move this thing out here. Okay, last year we did the side, this whole side, and then we did the front.
Yeah.
The whole front here for $1,400. And
Mhm.
now this year we're just doing the front with permanent lights for 4,100.
Really?
Yeah.
So, and now where's your electrical hookup to that? Is that simply from an outside source, or is it?
Yeah, that's all. It just goes into a standard outlet.
It's not hardwired or anything.
Pardon?
It's not hardwired or anything.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
4,000.
Pardon?
4,000 for permanent lighting.
Yeah, but man, see the thing is like I would go seasonal first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
You got any pictures of what you've drawn up for people?
Of like the work we've done?
Yeah, I'll just be interested to see. If you don't, it's no big deal.
Yeah, let's pull up our Instagram.
And how did you start advertising that before you started on the website? Like, did you
follow me on TikTok? Take a guess. Door hangers, bud.
There you
Door
go.
hangers and then email campaigns, like an automated email campaign to my existing customer base. That was 3 years ago before again, at that time, door hangers and my existing client base was kind of all I knew. So this is like what the permanent lights look like. But the seasonal ones are like this.
You've touched up those pictures a little bit, eh?
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this house here, that's on First Avenue. So I just want to I don't want to bullshit you guys. Oh, fine.
I believe you.
No, I'm trying to remember the price on it. This house. But like there's that, like this tree here, for instance, like this was like 3,500. Like that's
3,500 for the tree.
Yeah, 3,500 for that tree. Yeah, man, that took a lot of lights. Look at that. We had a boom light.
How much did the lights cost you?
Pardon?
How much did those lights cost you?
I don't know how many. I don't know how many strands that was off the top of my head. I have no idea how much that would have cost us off the top of my head. I would be completely out of my butt. Like I don't know if that. See, that's the thing with trees, for instance. Like my first year, I lost money almost every time I would get a tree because, like for instance, how many lights do you think's on that tree?
I wouldn't even know how to guess.
I'm gonna guess it's got to be close to 800.
It's like jelly bean.
800 bulbs,
at least.
Okay, so I'll tell you this. So there's at least, just from a quick, you guys know it is easy to quick estimate pricing. There's at least 40 strands of 50 bulbs on there, at least. Sorry,
2,000 lights.
At least a minimum, right? So look at the bottom of that tree, right? So let's go halfway around that tree. It's going to be at least, let's call it 45 feet, right? So if your strand is 20 feet, 2 strands is barely going to make it around 1 loop.
Yeah.
Right? So call that 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. That's 4 rounds around the tree. That's 200 feet of lights already. Bang. Gone. right? Like trees can add up. But again, we're buying the lights once and leasing them out.
Yeah.
So
And
here's
those aren't your Canadian Tire lights, right? Those are more of a commercial.
don't do that. That's another mistake I made my first year. I try to do a few houses like that to fill in. You're driving back there every day to fix them. It's not, you lose money. Like this is another one here. This year, this project here, we did this house. This one here as well was across the street. And then another 2 houses on the property. It was like a milk factory thing. It was 18,000.
Wow.
Trees like this, for instance, like these are 1,500 each for a tree like this.
Do you get a crane? Do you rent a crane for the?
Just for certain jobs.
Okay.
It's $350 rent for the day.
When you're making 18,000, that's pretty good.
We didn't need it for that job. Man, that job was our probably our best margin one. But yeah, like it's kind of stuff here. Like this is a cool one. We did this one pink.
So you've got your strands, and then you've got a whole different whack of bulbs, and you just switch them in and out. Like a job like that some are pink and some are white.
Yeah, this is steakhouse. We did the insides as well here.
Oh wow. I didn't even think about the inside as well. There's all kinds of these restaurants have inside lights.
Yeah, we did it like a Saint Hubert, like, well, you know what Saint Hubert is, I guess.
No, what's that? Is that a
Bush LA? But it's I guess it's more popular. It's a Quebec thing, but it's also popular in Ottawa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this
I've
is
only been to, that's funny. You talk about Canada. I've only been to Canada one time in my entire life.
What's that, Chris?
I said I've only come to Canada one time in my entire life.
You said you've been once?
I've been once, yeah. I don't like the cold, so I need to really go far north.
I hate the cold, man.
Where'd you go? Niagara Falls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, well, that would have been when I graduated high school. So what, back in 2017? Yeah, 2017, I think it was. It's my senior year.
We're only about 45 minutes from Buffalo, or from Niagara Falls, New York. About 12 minutes. So we would close the bar when I was a kid, well, 19. We used to close down the bars here in Hamilton, and then we'd go over to Niagara Falls, New York, because they were open till 3.
It's just so weird having liters there. Like, it's just trying to convert it to me is like I'm used to everything in gallons, so like.
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, going back to the 70s, that's when Canada was transitioning from the imperial system to metric. And talking about being confused, that was brutal. But you learn both though. I just can't, like Adam, like converting gallons to liters, like in your head, it's just you don't because we don't do it that much.
That's other ones I'm okay with, like kilometers to miles and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like height, but I can't do.
It's
got to be a multiply by 4 or divide by 4, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, I just looked it up earlier. 4 liters is like 1.07 gallons or something. It's real close. A liter is pretty much a quarter gallon, give or take.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was nice talking with you.
See you, Adam. I might bounce a few questions off you a little bit later on.
Yes, sounds good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I guess I'm gonna hop out of here.
All righty. Adios, Chris.
All right, man. Nice talking to you.
You too. Ciao.
Hey.